Let's make smoky jollof rice together. Let's make Nigerian party jollof. Let's go through the ingredients. The first item on our list is long grain easy cook rice. So you can get this at the African store or a supermarket near you. Now we've got our red bell peppers. I'm using 3 peppers. I've also got 3 large tomatoes. I'm using 3 of them. Not salad tomatoes, so take note. I'm also using the long cap rice. So some people call it the long cap pepper, and I'm also using Scotch bonnet. I'm using just one of these as it can be a bit too hot. I'm also using 3 bulbs of onions, just medium sized, and you'll see how I'll utilize them as we proceed. I've got my curry powder and my thyme. I've got smoked paprika and ground nutmeg. They are optional. I've got no seasoning cube. These are my absolute favorite because they are not overpowering. I also have some salt to taste, and I've also got garlic and I've got oregano. I've got some medium curry powder. I've got some derica, tomato paste. I've got frozen chicken, and I'm also using some beef today. So let's dive straight in. First things, you want to wash and de-seed your pepper. Wash them and take the seeds out as it makes it a bit bitter. So I'm going to be roasting this pepper in an oven and putting them in a baking tray at the moment. So I've added some curry, some oregano, some garlic, and some other herbs and seasoning to this mix. I'm going to be adding some vegetable oil, or I'm going to be spraying it so that I set it in the oven to both bake and roast at the same time. So it's going to be dehydrated, but it's going to be building the smoky flavor for this rice. So I'm going to be putting this in the oven for 30 minutes at 180. And after 30 minutes, I'm going to turn it to 220 and blast it for 5 more minutes, which is going to make it get burnt a little, which is what we are looking for. We don't want to buy smoky flavor in the shops anymore. Now set that in the oven. Time for our chicken. I've added some garlic granules and some salt. Now I'm adding some seasoning cubes to it. I've also boiled my water, ready to go into the chicken. So I'm adding some boiled water. I'm adding some curry powder. I'm also adding some thyme, and I'm also throwing in some onions. So we're going to add more water, but before then, let's add a little bit more of garlic granules. So I've added all my seasoning at this point. I've even added a little bit of oregano to this. I'm going to cover and let it cook for a bit. So that's my chicken. So I'm going to cover it with water until it gets to this level, and that's the chicken. So I'll move on to beef, and the same method. Some seasoning, some garlic granules, some curry, some thyme, some oregano, some salt into our beef, and I'm going to be adding some hot water as well, and the beef is going to cook. After 30 minutes or 35 minutes in the oven, this is what our pepper looks like. It is well dehydrated, it is well cooked, and trust me, it smells really nice at this point. So I'm getting ready to blend, and I've added some fresh onions to it, and I'm going to blend. And that's going to be the major part of our stew base for cooking our smoky jollof rice. Remember, your stew base has the power to make or break your jollof rice. So look at that beautiful juice we have there for our rice. Into a pan, I've poured some vegetable oil, and I've put some onions for fragrance, and I'm going to be frying my beef. After frying the beef on one side for 3 minutes, I turned over to the other side, which I fried for just 2 minutes, and they were out. I added some onions to my hot vegetable oil, the same one I used to fry the beef, and I'm adding some tomato paste into it. Right now, I'm going to be stirring so that it doesn't get burnt, but I want to fry on high heat so that the sour taste can, be off completely. So I'm going to be stirring fast and frying for at least 5 minutes. So I'll go in with my garlic granules. I'll put in some curry and thyme so that the vegetable oil itself can be fragrant. So whatever rice this oil gets to will also smell nice. So I've added the tomato blend into it. Remember, bell pepper, long pepper, tomatoes, Scotch bonnet, and some onions. That's what's in the mix. So I've added the mix to tomato paste, and I'm frying everything together. Remember, I said I didn't have enough vegetable oil, so that's me still trying to see what's left in the container. I'm adding more curry and thyme and some garlic granules, because remember, we've added the tomato base, so we need more seasoning and more taste. So into a clean pan, I'm adding some hot water, ready to start working on my rice. So I have 1 kg of rice in here, and I've poured it into the hot water, and I'm going to be stirring. So it's on low heat, and it's going to be there for between 3 to 5 minutes. We're not trying to cook it to make it soft. We're trying to get rid of the starchy part, the one that makes rice stodgy. So if you don't get this part right, you might start tasting starch. Now I've got my meat stock, both chicken and beef, and once it starts boiling, you add your tomato base, the one we made some few minutes ago. Add that tomato base into it, and I'm going in with some extra seasoning. Remember to taste as you go, so you can adjust your seasoning. Now the rice is going into the boiling mix, and when you're done mixing, this is what it should look like. Do not add any water to it. If it needs a little bit of water, you could go in with a little bit of your meat stock. After cooking our rice for 20 minutes, this is what it looks like. Now I'm going in with some butter, and I'm going to let it cook, but before then I'm adding some onions as well. So I'm going to stir so the butter and onions can get to every nook and cranny of this pot. So that is what my rice looks like at approximately 30 minutes of cooking. Now that my rice is soft enough and it is not stodgy, and I am loving the taste, it's now time to even make it more smoky. So I'm just going to let it sit there and cook for another 5 minutes. Now I'm going to turn my heat on to 220 from 180. So it's going to cook on the highest heat that you can imagine, just to get it burnt for like a few minutes, and that is where you get your smoky flavor from. We started the smoky flavor from roasting the peppers, remember, and now we're also getting flavors from actually burning the rice itself. So guys, the trick is you want to add like half cup for the one you're going to burn, so you need to sacrifice. This is what our finished rice looks like. Would you be trying this? If you have enjoyed this video, please leave me a like, or please subscribe to this YouTube channel and leave me a comment. And if you'll be trying this, let me know. If you have any questions on how to make jollof rice, please leave me your questions in the comments below, and I shall respond as soon as possible. Thank you, and see you next time.